Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to do a brief talk on church governance. The work of a pastor is multifaceted, and one of the less thought of jobs is management. When we think of a pastor and their duties, we first tend to think of preaching, teaching, and ministry. A well-functioning church can have all the complexity of a business. The church has physical assets to manage and maintain, along with budgets and people to manage. The management process or governance model used by the church can significantly determine success or failure. The governance model or system must be appropriate to the culture and functional needs of the shareholders, members, pastors, people that receive from the church. The shareholders are the people involved and are affected by the church. They include the pastor, staff, congregation, recipients of the church's outreach. As well as a well-run church should be able to balance meet the needs of the shareholders while maintaining an effective ministry. There are a variety of models used by various denominations. On one end of the spectrum, you have a congregation who is answerable to leadership, such as a pastor or higher governing authority. On the opposite end of the spectrum would be leadership who is answerable to the congregation. Either extreme can lead to poor decision-making, abuse, and an unhealthy church. Some key areas which need to be considered when developing the governance system of a church must balance authority, flexibility, and accountability. Governance models focuses on the following items. A governance model should not put all authority in leadership only, whether the pastor or the board of elders. Leadership authority should allow for healthy checks and balances. The congregation should oversee and have some say in the operation of the church, such as major purchasing. Property and buildings are an example. Change in leadership, if it's necessary for the board to rotate out or a pastor to be replaced. Or location change. We mentioned property and buildings. Also, the governance model must give the pastor the flexibility he needs to conduct ministry and the regular business of the church. Also, accountability built within the model is critical. An imbalance of authority and accountability can hinder the effectiveness of the leadership and the operation of the church. Pastors are not just required to preach and teach. They have many more areas of responsibility. They need to have authority and flexibility to be effective leaders and meet the expectations of the congregation. Spiritual guidance are the normal things that pastors are to do, but the functional aspects that they must also accomplish are facility maintenance, staff levels and schedules, budgets, accounting, project management, volunteer management are just a few. Every entity has legal requirements they must meet, and the people who have influence or control of that entity have a fiduciary responsibility. The church must put in place a governance system that accounts for and complies with legal requirements. Bylaws are also used to guide the people involved in managing the business of the church. By developing and following a comprehensive set of bylaws, the pastor, staff, and board can comply with the law, the denominational rules, and the responsibilities they have to the church. Some of those areas which need to be addressed in the bylaws need to include money, assets, and labor. Money includes accounting, tracking, budgeting, and spending. Asset management includes the building, equipment, and property. So labor or staffing management, paying the staff or dealing with volunteers and hiring and dismissal. This also includes record keeping. In conclusion, the operation of the church is a lot more than what we see on Sunday morning. The church has a properly functioning body. As a properly functioning body needs to have a governance system that helps guide it along so it has a long-term health. Thank you.